Okay, so in today's video we are going to take a look at some more C2 level English vocabulary, but before we get into it I've just got a couple of things to say. First of all, a huge thank you to Cambridge English teacher Rory, who named me in his top 5 English YouTube channels yesterday.
And number 5, in at number 5, 5th spot, gotta hand it to We Are English. We Are English has my number 5 spot because he is also making a lot of videos at the moment, spending a lot of his own free time trying to produce content for you guys.
He is spending a lot of time, the poor sod. Yeah, I am. Really, I think if we're being fair, that is the main compliment that you can, that someone can give this channel. It is prolific, if nothing else. Maybe I need to spend some more time editing, like some special effects. You know, maybe next time I'll be number 1 on that damn list. You know, what do you think? I can't like invent an alter ego for myself. Look at this. Watch. Who's this guy? It's my
alter ego.
Yeah. Give him a name. Jake. There you go. But seriously though, go and check Rory's channel out. He's working really hard. He's got online courses, particularly I think for B2 and C1. He specialises in that, in preparing for certificate and advanced. He's got a free online course for both of those exams. So go and have a look at him. I'm sure he can help you out. Anyway, let's get into today's video. And one more thing to mention before we get on with that is that I am working on a writing video this week, which was sent to me by Roland, who is soon to become a member on the channel, I believe. And if you want any specific videos to be made, why don't you consider becoming a member as well? That's one of the perks. Amongst other things, you can get personalized videos and contribute content. So, you know, think about it. Help me just do this for a living. So I'm back on EnglishAula.com again today, and still kind of enjoying it. Let's see how long I can use their content for. It's an article called Siberia, but obviously not written like the Russian province or whatever it is. In probably not a province. I'd probably call it like a. What do they divide their country into? I've got no idea. Region in the north of Russia is obviously spelled S-I-Beria. Siberia. This is cyber, like cyberspace. No, to do with technology, to do with computers and so on and so forth. Siberia. The guy who wrote this, oh, he must love his words. Must love his play on words. Must be a barrel of laughs down at the. Where did they write this article? Down at the Guardian. Yep. Must be very fun to work there. Siberia. Okay, so this is a type 1 type activity for from the C2 exam. The kind of thing that you'd have to do. So you get 4 options for each gap, 8 gaps in total. And let's see if I can get the right answers. I have had a little think about the answers before. I'm not sure I've got the right ones, but yeah, I think I have. So let's see. It says Siberia. People defend that on which they depend. Yeah, this has been the way since time, hour, moment, period, immemorial. So what we're saying is that, yeah, people will always defend that which they need, that which they depend on. And it has always been this way. The expression is, this has been the way since time immemorial, I believe. Since time immemorial. So since before people can remember, it has always been like this, no? So, the uncivilized savages of indigenous and let's have a look at the options in 2, hereditary, genealogical, tribal, or familial lands defend mundane, unimportant things like the animal herds, rivers and forests that their lives depend on, often with their bodies. So this is kind of like a double irony kind of thing here going on. They're kind of pretending that savages and the indigenous people are uncivilized and savage in some way, I think is, but obviously they're writing for The Guardian. It has to be irony. Yeah, so let's see. So the uncivilized savages of indigenous and, I think hereditary lands, that sounds almost aristocratic, doesn't it? Genealogical, well, I don't think so. Tribal lands. No, we're talking about savages, uncivilized, indigenous, tribal lands. Yeah, familial. Yeah, it doesn't quite sound right. The uncivilized savages of indigenous and tribal lands defend mundane, unimportant things like the animal herds, rivers and forests. It has to be tribal, no doubt about that. Often with their bodies. Homo sapiens, so I guess what they're saying is electronic modern man, where we're all using technology. Homo sapiens defend what do they defend? They defend, let's see the options in 3. I remember, I saw this. So they defend so you know that the next thing can't start with a vowel sound. It says they defend enterprising. You can't say enterprising, advancing, accelerating. So it has to be a progressive way of life. Again, I think being ironic, all those funny writers at The Guardian. Hey, it's not letting me select the right answers. Hang on. Time. Tribal. It's not like, well, you can remember the answers that I'm selecting now. Progressive. What do you have to do to select them? Doesn't let you select them. Anyway, so progressive way of life with its factories, supermarkets, cheap flights and online shopping. The Homo sapiens defend a progressive, ironically, progressive way of life with its factories. Enterprise, again, maybe you could say an enterprising way of life. I think that would be too complimentary. Enterprising obviously sounds good. Though I would say factories, supermarkets, cheap flights and online shopping are all enterprising ventures, aren't they, that people have invented in the last century, which have massively benefited mankind, if not mentally, certainly physically, making our lives more comfortable. But there you go. Mr. Guardian writer doesn't think so. Anyway, progressive way of life. Yeah, I think it has to be progressive just because it's unless it's a mistake. But anyway, it's now this one's a little bit complicated. It's within us that is as problematic as it is understandable. Oh, they're getting grave now. Their tone has changed. It's pattern, tendency, propensity, susceptibility within us that is understandable. That is problematic as it is understandable. Now, I can't really see which one's better, tendency or propensity. It is a pattern of behaviour. It is something we are susceptible to doing. But I think what we want to say here is it is a tendency or a propensity within us. I don't really know the difference between tendency and propensity, I have to be honest. Maybe a tendency in that it's a modern way of looking at things, so it's not necessarily, maybe propensity is something that is within us in a natural way, but tendency is something, but then again it says that sort of the original indigenous people, tribal people also had that tendency because they depended on the land, they depended on the rivers, they depended on the animal herd, so therefore they protected them and defended them with their lives. So again, tendency, propensity, maybe they're saying it's like a modern thing that's a problem. It's like, even though in the past we only defended things from a sort of selfish standpoint as well, which I think is honestly the correct way of looking at this. I think perhaps Mr. Guardian writer here is trying to say that this is like a tendency of nowadays. You know, the people are sick. People are sick nowadays. We should be out hunting and gathering, not playing on our PlayStations. Let's. I think I'm going to go with tendency. I don't really know the difference. Technical difference between tendency and propensity, though. Maybe tendency is more like a temporary thing, propensity is more like a natural thing, but it's not really clear from the tone of the article which one they want to say, to be honest. Anyway, tanning buckskins by using deer brains to make clothes not dependent on deforestation and extinction and have I skipped one? Yes, I've skipped number 5. I'm very sorry. For a start, the old ways have become alien, estranged, intolerable, incongruous. I think they have become alien to us, would be the correct expression there. They have become alien to us. We have become estranged from someone, like you don't know them anymore, or from, I think it's alien to, intolerable to us. I don't think it's intolerable, it's just that we don't know them anymore. We can't really understand what they go on to describe in the next sentence. Incongruous. No, I think it's alien. They've become alien to us. Tanning buckskins by using deer brains to make clothes, not dependent on deforestation and multitudinal, extensive, complete mass extinction is the collocation we use there. We talk about mass extinction. So, tanning buckskins by using deer brains to make clothes not dependent on deforestation and mass extinction is no longer part of our economic lexicon. Yes, it is. Everyone who reads The Guardian talks like this every day. But do they go and tan buckskins with deer brains, or do they go back to their iPads and cry? I think we all know the answer to that. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Deforestation and mass extinction is no longer part of our economic lexicon. This is difficult for an ex-vegan such as myself. I'm actually... Oh, who cares? This is... principally, notably, especially, specifically, it's especially difficult. It is especially difficult for an ex-vegan. It is more difficult for me than for other people, because I'm different, I'm special. It is especially difficult for me, an ex-vegan such as myself. At the end, you know better. You know better, Mr. Guardian writer. Or Mrs. Guardian writer, I don't know. I have witnessed the that industrial civilization has had on wilderness and animal kingdom, and the animal kingdom firsthand. I have witnessed the impingement, how it impinges on something. The impact, collision, brunt. You bear the brunt of something, the worst part of something. No, I think it's the impact, isn't it? I have witnessed, me. I have witnessed the impact that industrial civilization has had on wilderness and the animal kingdom firsthand. Polyester, after all, is hardly vegan. Well, you don't eat polyester, do you? I don't know. All taken out of context. Don't know what the wider point is. Not a big fan of the article. Siberia, eh? What a laugh. What a larf. Anyway, I think we're done for today. Any questions? Leave them in the comment section. Yeah, have a good day. I just realised I did not check the correct answers, so I'm back again. And let's check. It says I didn't get any right. Let's show the correct answers, yeah. So, yes. People defend that on which they depend. This has been the way since time immemorial. So the uncivilized savages of indigenous and tribal lands defend mundane, unimportant things like the animal herds, rivers, and forests that their lives depend on, often with their bodies. Homo sapiens defend a progressive way of life with its factories, supermarkets, cheap flights, and online shopping. It's a tendency, well, there you go, tendency, as I said, within us that's as problematic as it is understandable. For a start, the old ways have become alien to us. Tanning buckskins by using deer brains to make clothes not dependent on deforestation, and mass extinction is no longer part of our economic lexicon. This is especially difficult for an ex-vegan such as myself. I have witnessed the impact that industrial civilization has had on the wilderness and the animal kingdom firsthand. Polyester, after all, is hardly vegan. I believe I got them all right. Goodbye.